They say some people are made from the same star, that the universe, in one of its rare, kind moods, breaks a single soul in half and breathes them into two bodies. Elijah never believed in such stories. She wore a yellow coat and had a chipped violin case. Her music was clumsy, unsure but sincere. He sat beside her, sketchpad in hand, trying not to stare, until Aurora. He met her on a cold night in Rome, when he was running from the world and she was sitting on a train platform humming to herself. "You draw strangers often?" she asked without looking at him. They talked about everything: loss, ambition, grief, and wonder. He was a painter who had lost his mother to cancer and abandoned galleries in New York for silence in Europe. She was a music student whose life felt like a song waiting for a chorus. He smiled. Only the ones who sound like dreams. That's how it started. A conversation about art and music, then a late-night walk through cobbled streets, then espresso under the stars. By dawn, they were sharing croissants and laughter, and by the end of the week, they were inseparable. She would play violin in public squares, and he would paint her on napkins, cafe tables, walls, and skin. Room empty, her belongings missing, and on the bed, a small box with the engagement ring he had given her the week before. "I want your memories of me to be golden, not gray. Please don't find me. Live the life I would have wanted with you." He painted, but only in shadows. His art became haunted. Critics called his work brilliant, heart-wrenching, a visual form of longing. As he walked the streets, the skies opened up and poured. He stood beneath an old archway watching the city dissolve into watercolors when he saw her. Every exhibit sold out, but he felt none of it. His soul remained somewhere on that hospital bed, with that letter, with the girl who left before he could stop her. "Paint the sun again, sing for both of us. Yours, always, Aurora," along with a letter soaked in tears. Their love wasn't loud, it was intimate, the kind that doesn't need to prove itself to the world. Only walked to her slowly, like she might disappear if he moved too fast. She didn't run, didn't cry. She only reached out and touched his face like it was something she thought she'd never feel again. The kind that felt like coming home to a place you never knew you missed. Then they went to a small inn, and under soft lamplight, she told him everything. She had found a group of doctors testing an experimental treatment. It nearly killed her twice. But she survived. Love came like a slow tide. Gentle at first, then suddenly drowning. They traveled through cities together: Venice, Prague, Istanbul. Her hands trembled. Her lips turned blue. Elijah rushed her to the hospital. Hours passed, then days, and finally the diagnosis. One night, while Elijah slept, she packed a small bag, left a note, took the ring with her. One that attacks from within, slowly and cruelly. The doctors were gentle but direct. It was manageable, maybe, treatable sometimes, but not curable, not yet. But love, in its deepest form, always invites the storm. Aurora collapsed one evening while playing for a small crowd in Lisbon. He promised her that nothing would change, that love would be their medicine, that they'd fight together, a rare autoimmune disease. "I want to grow old with your pain, not without you." And when the priest asked if they promised to stay together in sickness and in health, they both laughed and cried at once. Elijah stayed at her side for every scan, every needle, every silent scream into a pillow. But Aurora ... she couldn't let him stay. One morning, when Elijah returned from buying her favorite lemon pastries, she was gone. They adopted children from a war-torn region she had once stayed in. Elijah held her hand, whispering poems to her until her final breath. Elijah taught them how to paint sunsets. Aurora sang lullabies in languages they didn't know but felt in their hearts. Elijah, "I love you too much to let you watch me fade." And she vanished. For years, Elijah searched online, through embassies, in hospitals. Until one rainy night in Florence, he had returned there by chance, or maybe fate, for a charity exhibit. A woman in a red dress, spinning barefoot in the rain, hair wild and soaked, eyes closed like she was praying with her whole body. His heart slammed into his chest. It was her, older, a little thinner, but unmistakably Aurora. He stepped forward, rain forgotten, pain evaporated. She opened her eyes, and this time she saw him, Elijah. She said, her voice barely a whisper under the thunder. He didn't speak. "I'm sorry," she said. "I wanted to die before you could watch me do it." He held her hands. "And instead I died every day without you." They stayed in the rain until their skin was numb. She had left and traveled South Morocco, then Ghana, then India following healing, both physical and spiritual. "But I forgot how to live," she confessed, "until I saw one of your paintings. I knew you still loved me. I could see it." They stayed in Florence for a month, healing, laughing again, telling the stories they had stored in silence. And slowly, the old rhythm returned, but Aurora still carried fear in her bones. But this time, he woke before she left. He found her outside, looking at the stars. "Still trying to disappear?" he asked gently. "I'm afraid," she whispered. "So am I," he said. "But I'd rather be afraid beside you than brave alone." She broke, fell into his arms. And under that sky, he asked her to marry him again this time. No rings, just a promise. "I want every version of you, the healthy, the broken, the strong, the scared." They married in a cliffside chapel with only the wind as their witness. She wore the same red dress. He painted her smile as they exchanged vows. Years passed. Aurora's health remained delicate, but she lived longer than any doctor predicted. Every year, they returned to the first painting he made of her, the girl in the rain now displayed in a famous Italian museum. And every time she stood before it, she would whisper, "We made it." On the day Aurora passed, she was surrounded by family. Before she left, she said, "Wait for me in the rain." Elijah passed 2 years later, quietly in his sleep, clutching the red scarf she used to wear. And on the day of his funeral, it rained in Florence for the first time in months. People swore they saw the figures dancing barefoot in the storm. Because some souls don't die, some love stories don't end. They just wait until the stars remember them.